Not a bad day out. It's been raining overnight, so it's a little bit damp, but the temperature is not terrible. I think it's about 60 degrees. Gonna get up to around 70 degrees Fahrenheit today, so overall, pretty good day. And it's a rest day, which makes it an even better day. I've really come to appreciate rest days, especially as I'm working through some of the issues that I'm working through. But also today's a little bit special because a while back, I had tried to get in to see a sports medicine physician and a physical therapy group that kind of tied together. It's the MSU Sports Medicine Clinic. I've been there before and they helped me through some issues in the past, but today's the day when I'm going to get in there and talk to somebody. So maybe we can figure out together, put our heads together and figure out the best course of action for me going forward. Some of the issues that I'm dealing with, I know will resolve themselves. That thigh, back of my thigh pain, groin area, adductor, hamstring area, all that kind of stuff. And even my tendonitis, I know will clear up eventually because I've been down that road before, so I know that it will work itself out. But the one constant that really has not improved is my hip pain. So I need to figure out what's going on there because I feel like I'm doing a lot to address that. A lot of hip openers and all kinds of mobility and strengthening exercises to address my hip, especially that right hip. But I haven't really seen any improvement. It still feels like something's not right. Something's maybe out of place or pinched, or maybe it's just strained. I don't know. So that's why I need to get in to see an expert. And I think they're going to take some x-rays, check bone spacing, that kind of stuff today. So is it going to make me healthier for the Chicago Marathon? Probably not, because today's going to be all about assessment. So I don't plan to learn a lot today. It'll be the follow-up appointments to come. But I'm playing the long game. So I'm thinking about not just Chicago and New York, but I registered for the Boston Marathon, which is in April. And when I start that training block, I want to be as healthy as I can be. I always want to be as healthy as I can be, but I want to do everything that I can do to make that happen. So that's my plan for my rest day today. I've got some other errands to run too, but this is the one that I'm probably most encouraged about given my current circumstances. So I've got to get on the road because my appointment's in 45 minutes. So I better grab my coffee and jump in a car and head to East Lansing. All right, I'll take you guys along with me. I can't take you into the exam room, obviously, because I'm sure the physician wouldn't like that. But I'll let you know what, if anything, they said after. All right, let's go check it out. So we made it down here. Now we're gonna go in and see what they have to say. All right, let's go check it out. Oh goodness, so I get out of the car, my heart rate jumped up just a little bit anxious, a little bit excited. I'm excited for the prospect of trying to figure out what is going on so I can be healthy and run again the way that I want to run and train the way I want to train. I'm also a little bit nervous that I might hear something that I don't necessarily want to hear, that it could be worse than I thought that it might be. So we're gonna make our way into the building and on up to the 4th floor to get this process started and see where it goes. All right, so I guess step one is complete. I had the first initial assessment, and they put me through a pretty good, range of motion exercises, things like that. Just kind of checking to see exactly where the trouble spots are, and they are exactly where I've said they were all along. But their focus was primarily on my hip today, and that's because they want to make sure that there isn't something wrong that could be serious, that might result in more permanent damage. All right, so we got some x-rays taken, and they looked pretty good. There wasn't anything concerning on the x-rays. The next step is to get an MRI done. Now, the MRI probably won't happen for a couple of days. I'm supposed to get a call, hopefully, maybe this afternoon, to schedule that. And then once I get the MRI done, then I'll have a follow-up appointment to take a look at that to make sure that we don't have any kind of stress fracture or something along those lines. So that's kind of where I'm at so far, where I think we're one step closer, at least, if nothing else, ruling out the worst case scenario to make sure that I'm healthy to run come marathon day. All right, who knows, maybe we're one step closer instead of 2 steps back this time. Oh goodness. All right, I gotta head over to Costco, pick up a few groceries there. Got a lot of other things to do today, so we'll talk more in a bit. Oh boy, so I'm back home, and good news, bad news kind of a thing, I guess. So we'll start with the good news. The good news is that at this point, they don't see any reason why I shouldn't continue to work out on my mountain bike. So that's good news. So I'll at least have that going for me at this point. But there is potentially bad news, and that would be, the possibility of a fracture, hairline fracture, stress fracture, something along those lines. And so we want to rule that out. So I do have an MRI that's coming up, and I'll keep you guys updated as I go through this process. But it's possible that I got a stress fracture, or another possibility is, you might recall that, when I switched over on my mountain bike a while back, I took a pretty good spill and I landed on my right hip. So there is that possibility that maybe my hip was bothering me ahead of time or previously because of some inflammation, something along those lines, and then I developed a fracture from the wipeout on my bike. So let's hope that that's not the case. I am really hoping that is not the case. It kind of raised my anxiety up just an extra notch or two. So I'm hopeful that that is not the case, and that my hip is bothering me mainly from inflammation, because the x-rays did not show any kind of spacing issues, any kind of anything along those lines. I do have a slight bone spur that might be causing some inflammation there, but we want to rule out the worst case scenario, because if I started running anywhere, wouldn't matter if it was a marathon or not, and with a fracture, stress fracture or otherwise, it could result in some serious permanent damage. So we're going to rule that out. So no running for now, but I did get the thumbs up, like I said, the okay to keep working out on my mountain bike. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. All right, you guys, thanks for making it to this into this video and sitting through the update on my injury. And like I said, I'll keep you updated as we move through this together. So thanks for coming along on this journey with me. I do greatly appreciate it. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, you can always email me, runtall2020@gmail.com. Alrighty, mountain bike it is. You can live with that. I got it all washed up and got my chain oiled. I do need to take it in for a tune-up. I got about 500 miles on that bike already, believe it or not. So having a little bit of issue with the transmission. Just when I get into the easiest gear, it not wanting to come out of that easy gear, I have to stop and manually kind of move the derailleur over a little bit. So something for me to think about. All right, you guys, we'll catch you tomorrow.